Boys, because of Jon Jones' lack of caring and just straight up wanting to retire, because like Tom Aspinall said, he's going to retire his ass without even fighting him.
I will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him.
I think it's time that we all band together and just hold one common ground that, Tom Aspinall is the dude that retired Jon Jones without fighting him. Jon Jones was scared to fight Tom Aspinall. I don't want people to go around saying, yeah, Jon Jones had this amazing legacy. I will be pissed if we go in 5 years from now and this narrative isn't still true, that Jon Jones is still the GOAT. There is nothing wrong with him, no controversies. He fought everyone. I don't want to be hearing none of that bullshit. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we had a new video surface from Jon Jones on a call, and this is pretty much what he had to say. And, classic Jon Jones here, just, casually having his arm around another dude, pulled in very closely, might I add, very, very close. And, what do we expect from Jon Jones anymore?
Well, man, I'm excited to see you again.
I don't know why the fuck this is in Russian, but it is what it is. Hopefully everyone has their listening ears on. He said, you're still active. You're still active. You still have 10 years left, he said. Fucking retard.
10 years left, but you're still active. I'm done.
And then you can hear Jon Jones in the background. Oh, no. I'm done.
I'm looking forward to seeing you again, Camille. You look great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's do some business. Like that.
You can hear him right here.
So you got 10 years left, but you're still active. I'm done.
No, I'm done. Clearly, Jon Jones doesn't care whatsoever to fight anymore. He's saying he's done. And, it's just so funny because we go out here and we can have countless videos of Dana White saying he's going to make the fight happen. Jon Jones is going to fight. We have countless videos of Dana White not only just saying this fight's going to happen, but even just glazing Jon Jones, doing tricks on it, saying he's a GOAT, pound for pound, number one, he's the best of, the greatest of all time. Just literally slobbering on it, doing the craziest tricks known to mankind. We just have Dana just acting a fool out here. And to be honest, one of the biggest reasons why, a lot of people are hating on Dana right now, it does have to do with the fact that he was just blindly being such an idiot, doing tricks on Jon Jones. All of us already know the controversies with Jon Jones. Then we get shit like this. Yeah, no, I'm done. Just makes Dana look like more of an idiot. Makes people even hate Dana even more. And just shows that his word means jack shit. He's saying, yeah, the fight's going to happen. I told you guys the fight's going to happen. I'm confident this fight's going to happen. We have countless videos of Dana just saying the same thing over and over. The fight's going to happen. Yet, it doesn't look like that shit's going to happen. If we go to even Jon Jones' Twitter right now is just next level retarded. We have almost like an Israel Adesanya moment here too. Like, John, where's that hand going? You can't even scroll at all without seeing, duck emoji. It's all duck. We love to see this. We love to see this. I hope this keeps going on. You even have him low-key crashing out on Twitter saying, someone says, enjoying your last days as champ before you're being stripped. I see, John. And then Jon Jones stripped. LOL. Do I come across a guy who cares about things like that? Of course not, John. You care more about these white powdered stuff, these lady boys, all of these stuff other than defending the heavyweight champ and, defending the honor of quote unquote your GOAT status. But even right here is just so stupid. Someone replied to him about the whole strip thing and they said, yes, otherwise you would have vacated the belt a long time ago because you don't plan on fighting Tom. He says, you guys are barking up the wrong tree. I told the UFC my plans a long time ago. I have no clue why they haven't shared them with you guys yet. So it looks like this dude has been saying for a long time that, yeah, I'm done. It looks like he was true on that aspect, that he wasn't, wanting to take this fight. It looks like the UFC is the one that's, almost like that whole Khabib situation where Khabib said, I'm done, I'm not fighting anymore. And the UFC tried their hardest to bring him back. That seems like what they're doing with Jon Jones. And even right here, this tweet, so delusional from Jon Jones. He pretty much just says, it's crazy. I can't walk 2 feet here in Thailand because if you guys don't know, he's out there visiting the lady boys. He can't walk 2 feet without taking a picture, even from Russian fan bases, UK fan bases. Everywhere his fan bases has exploded. Newsflash, Jon Jones. That isn't because of, the whole MMA general audience. That's your gay fan bases. Shout out to the MMA guru because he's the one that put everyone on game to know who Jon Jones really is. And I hate to break it to you, my guy. This This isn't the general UFC fan base. That's your gay fan base is finally realizing who you are. And, now they're not scared to come up and ask for a photo. So maybe they can, get you to wrap their arms around them or pull their hair in a freaking seductive way. I don't know how delusional Jon Jones is, but I hate to break it to you, my guy. It ain't the general UFC fan base walking up to you for that picture. And I'm going to be so angry if 5 years go down the line and we still hold the title of GOAT. If Jon Jones is even in the GOAT conversation anymore. I hope that, all of this stuff brings a huge taint into his resume, into his legacy, all of that stuff. And the fact that he's, the longest reigning heavyweight champion after fighting one time and being inactive the other time is a disgrace. The UFC should find a way to, negate that as being part of his legacy as well, because that's just retarded too. The fact that this dude can be light heavyweight GOAT in many people's eyes and then go out here and hold the belt the longest in heavyweight, absolute clownery of a legacy stat in my opinion, and clownery promotion wise too. The promotion should never have let this happen. Going down to his legacy too, I hope his legacy gets tainted because of all this. And to be honest, I do think he will forever be known as a gay duck who didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall because he knew he was going to lose. I truly think that's what's going to happen with Jon Jones. I don't think he's going to go out here. Of course, there's still going to be people on here, doing tricks on that thing, freaking gobbling it up just because it's Jon Jones and because he's quote unquote the GOAT. There's still going to be people like that. Even go to his comments now. It's flooded with gay and duck comments, but there's still the odd few people doing tricks on it. So yes, he'll still have people doing that for him, but for the most part, I think legacy's down the drain. All that shit he's done, absolutely down the drain. And now that, MMA YouTube has picked up the way it has, and we have so many big characters in the MMA space, especially on social medias now, and it's not just paid companies, paid people to talk nicely about the UFC, guarantee this dude's legacy ain't gonna be what it used to be. We will have more people talking about the picograms. We'll have more people talking about cocaine, about the hit and runs, the, hitting that pregnant lady, having him beat the shit out of his wife, so bad that his own two children, his two daughters, had to call the cops on their own dad. I guarantee this dude's legacy is down the drain. He will try to picture himself as the nice guy. He ain't the nice guy. MMA YouTube has fully just fucked this dude's career, and I couldn't be more happy about it, especially now with that video coming out saying he's done, with that tweet coming out saying he's told the UFC his plans a long time ago and he doesn't understand why they haven't told us that. So yeah, I think the last thing it's honestly funny. The last thing he's not gonna be remembered as is, the GOAT of the sport. He took on everyone, title defense after title defense. He will be looked at and remembered as, that gay dude who's in the closet who ducked the number one contender and gaslit the MMA community into thinking that he's gonna fight one last time. And to be honest, this could all just be a more of a money move, to be honest, but the way he kind of whispered it, I'm done. It makes me think that this isn't a, last second, let me put this out here so, the UFC have to bend by my command. I don't think that's what this is. I think this low-key was a bit of a slip of the tongue for Jon Jones. He's talking to one of his gay friends right there. He didn't mean to slip his tongue that way, you know what I mean? But I think it was a slip of the tongue. I don't think this is him trying to get more money because in my opinion, I think that the Saudis would have been involved some way, somehow with this fight. I guarantee Jon Jones was asking for 30 million maybe, and I think the UFC would have given it to Jon Jones with that Saudi money. I think that the money wasn't the issue. I think it was the opponent. I think Jon Jones would have fought practically everyone but Tom Aspinall. And again, he was getting paid that 30 million. He would have got that money. And again, it just goes back to that whole legacy. It boils down to Jon Jones was too scared to fight Tom Aspinall. He would have got the money. I guarantee he would have got the money. The UFC have been hella retarded lately, but I know they would have made this fight and they would have given Jon Jones his money. Maybe Jon Jones was first asking for 50 million. He was asking for 50, hoping for 30, something like that. And I could even see a 30 million plus pay-per-view, something lucrative like this, one of the biggest contracts. I could have seen something like this with that Saudi money. Because again, Dana was hyping this shit up. Dana was saying it's going to be the biggest fight in UFC history. It's mainly just like heavyweight division, but it could be all time. And for sure it could be the best, like the biggest pay-per-view this year, because we haven't had the biggest pay-per-view draws this year. But boils down to the whole legacy thing. This dude's legacy is he didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall because at the end of the day, he was scared of Tom Aspinall. He was going to get paid the money. And again, I'm thinking of this and I'm just getting mad because I don't want people to 5 years down the line still doing tricks for it on Jon Jones. Yet we go look at this year alone. We just look at how he talked about the Stipe fight, moving after that, the interview after the Stipe fight. He low-key like made it seem like he was going to fight again. Yet this is how he treats the MMA fans. This is how he treats his fans, the dudes that are doing tricks on it for Jon Jones. This is how he treats you. Stalling out heavyweight. Having a bogus heavyweight reign, stalling out heavyweight, taking years off Tom Aspinall's prime, and just being gay all around, posting these gay ass videos, just being an absolute weirdo of a thing. And yet we still have people defending this man. It absolutely boggles my mind how people can sit around and be like, yeah, that's my GOAT. This embodies, what I think of a MMA GOAT, And sure, we can think of that back in the younger days when he was champion at light heavyweight. Sure, that's fine. But the controversies, especially even just moving up to heavyweight. I can't thank MMA Guru enough to finally exposing this man for not only just being a piece of shit human that honestly we all knew this dude was a piece of shit, but I can't thank him enough for finally bringing to light that this dude likes to touch men and get touched by men, because honestly that's what this dude's legacy should be. It should be a drug addict fiend who can't pass a drug test, not only for basic drugs like cocaine itself, but also for performance enhancing, as well as, a little bit of a temper tantrum because, he gets mad he can't get it up for his wife because he's a closeted homosexual, so he beats the shit out of her. Multiple arrests, even the ones caught on film. Even when you're drunk, you can't really hide your true self. That we should have all known this dude was so fruity. Like, go look at those arrest tapes, especially when he's in handcuffs and he, fruitily hits his head on the cop car.
I hate you. I hate you. No, please don't.
We should have all known, it's crazy how the Guru had to come out here to put us all on game, but shout out Guru. I'm happy this is what this dude's legacy is. At the beginning of the year, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty confident that the UFC is going to make this fight. At this point, I think we're going to see an announcement here pretty soon. Plus, let's go back to Dana. I'm so pissed. Like, old Dana would have got this shit done. And if old Dana saw the shit Jon Jones was tweeting and saying, they would have immediately have had a full press tour, a whole announcement. Yeah, Jon Jones getting stripped. The narrative that Dana would have started was, yeah, Jon Jones told me he didn't like that matchup. He didn't think it was a good matchup for him. He was scared of that matchup. That would have been the narrative Dana was spreading for Jon Jones. Not this whole, oh yeah, he's a GOAT. He's pound for pound number one, Not just doing tricks on that shit. Do we not remember that Leon Edwards, arguably deserving of a title shot at that point, was forced to fight Chimaev, and if he didn't fight Chimaev, he was cut out of the rankings? That's the ruthless Dana I want. I don't want this gay nonsense, pound for pound bullshit Dana we have now. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of this whole Jon Jones situation? What do you guys think is going to happen? Is he playing 4D chess trying to get a better contract, or is this dude just done? Is he going to go live the rest of his life in Thailand with the ladyboys, away from his wife and children that he has, a grown-ass man away from his family, out here chasing the ladyboys? Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? What do you guys think's next for Jon Jones? What do you guys think's next for the whole heavyweight division? Because Jon Jones has completely, in classic Jon Jones fashion, fucked a bunch of dudes in that division. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching to the end of the video, and I will see you guys in my next video.